Hi guys, it's Dave here at Humble Trekker channel. How you doing today? I'm back on a spot that I was at exactly 3 years ago for my video Chaga hunting, how to do it, what to look for. It's been a popular video, but in the comments section of this video there's a lot of misinformation and myths about Chaga. This misinformation is being repeated by people in my comments section, and I believe it's coming from a few YouTubers. I call these people snake oil salesmen. These are people that claim to know everything there is to know about Chaga, but these people are saying certain things about Chaga which is simply not true. These people appear to be very confident, very knowledgeable about their area. They walk around the woods looking like they're the men of the woods, but they're actually full of bullcrap. So I'm going to clear up 3 myths about Chaga that these snake oil salesmen are pitching, and it's going to people that are less experienced and are being easily persuaded by these bullcrap merchants. I'm back to the scene of the crime. This is a birch tree that 3 years ago I removed a Chaga conk from. I'm going to put the link to that video in the card on the screen and also in the description box, so you can go back and you can check this is exactly the tree that I was at 3 years ago. There's no doubt about it. You can see all the background. This is the tree. Now, when I was here 3 years ago, I was hunting for Chaga, and I removed the Chaga from this tree. This Chaga, which is still growing here today. I'm going to zoom in on it for you so you can see it. Now, the first myth that comes up and is repeated with absolute certainty by certain YouTube channels, these so-called snake oil salesmen, these people that think they know it all, and they tell everybody that they're the only people that know about Chaga, and then this is watched and it's repeated over and over and over again. That is, if you remove a Chaga conk entirely down to the bare wood of the tree as far as you can, the Chaga will not grow back. I've already demonstrated this is not true in another one of my videos, or a couple of them, and I've gone back to the same Chaga over a course of 3 years. But it's worth repeating because people are still believing this rubbish, this garbage that's being put out there by these self-appointed experts. So let's zoom in and see how this Chaga has grown back. Here you can see the Chaga from here to here, and it's growing out of this wound in the tree, this oval wound in the tree. Inner layer contrasting with a black crusty outer layer. Now we're going to cut it off. Cutting it off doesn't damage the tree in any way whatsoever. You just want to get your knife or small axe, get as close to the bark, the tree as you can, get it under it, and it comes off. Simple as that. So here we go. And you can see it's growing back. By comparison to the old video where I removed it, it has grown back without a shadow of a doubt. This is 100% nailed on, guaranteed, iron-proof fact, proof that when you remove Chaga all the way down to the wood, it does grow back. And Chaga grows slowly. It grows about a centimetre a year once it becomes a certain size. This has grown back about 15 millimetres, 20 millimetres you can say, over the course of 3 years. That's an entirely expected normal growth for a Chaga, and this will continue to grow through the years. Myth 1 busted. Chaga grows back even if you remove it all the way down to the wood. The second myth is one that absolutely blows my mind because it is so easy to disprove. And that is that if you remove a Chaga entirely from the tree will die. This is a birch tree. This birch tree is not entirely in good health. If it was entirely in good health, it wouldn't have a Chaga growing on it. Here we are, 3 years after I completely removed this Chaga, and this tree is still alive. Trees do not die because you remove the Chaga from them. The Chaga fungus is an infection on a sickly tree, a tree that's got an infection. This entire tree is infected with the Chaga, and it's within the tree. This is just a visible sign that this tree is infected. This tree is dying, but trees do not die on the scale of a mammal like a human or a warm-blooded creature does. A tree can be dying for 150 years. They take human generations to die. Just removing this visible sign of the infection is not going to kill the tree. This is like a scab on the skin of a person. It shows there's maybe an underlying infection, but that's not the infection itself, that's just a sign. Removing it does not hurt the tree any more than leaving it on the tree, because this tree is already infected and it's on the way to die. It could die in 5 years, it could die in 10 years, it could die in 50 years. It will die eventually because it's sickly. But removing the chaga will not speed up that process. So easy to prove. All the chaga that's been removed from trees in the world, they should all be dead, right? I've removed chaga from dozens of trees. I've left chaga on dozens of trees. There's no difference between the ones I've left it on and the ones I've taken it off. Myth number 2 busted. Removing chaga from a tree entirely does not kill the tree. That is a fact. Stone cold fact. I'm going to go over the age of trees now before I get into another chaga myth. Now here, this is a birch tree. This is a birch tree. I'm in Sweden, the Stockholm area of Sweden. It's fairly far north. We have a short growing period relative to many parts of the world. If you go up into the Arctic Circle in Sweden, you can find trees that are 250 years old, 200 years old, birch trees that are smaller than this. The point I want to say to you guys now is that this tree here, 4 times the size of this. This tree could be younger than this tree. In northern areas with short growing cycles, trees can be very old but very, very small. They can be sheltered, they can be sickly, they can be waiting for a time to grow. This tree here, I would wager, is not significantly older than this tree. The size of the tree in areas like we are, in areas where chaga grows, is not an indication necessarily of how old that tree is. So that brings me to the third myth that I want to go over. And this is the one that annoys me the most, because this is the one that has got the most possibility, or the only possibility, to actually do harm to people. Now chaga is considered a type of herbal medicine, that it's good for certain illnesses. Now I've never got into whether I believe chaga is a medicine for you. I've only ever said that some people consider it is, and I said do your own research. I don't know if chaga is good for you or not good for you. Well, let me put it this way. I know that chaga is not bad for you, but I do not know if chaga is actually going to help you cure or relieve any type of illnesses. I've never given an opinion on it because I simply don't have an opinion on it. I've researched and I've never found any real scientific research, genuine clinical research that proves chaga has a significant effect. Certainly there's lots of anecdotal evidence that it does, but there's a lot of stuff you can read out on the internet which is just absolutely fake news. You know, guys, real phonies telling you that chaga's going to do this or that for you. So I don't get into a debate, a discussion about chaga can do this or can do that for you. But I do get upset when people claim chaga has effects and they put it out on the internet without any backing up for it, without any real genuine evidence. Especially if you put that in my comment section, you're going to get a reaction from me and I'm going to ask you to prove it. There's 2 things that come up in my comment section. First of all, that is that this chaga I took was quite small, about the size of half an apple, say. And people say that chaga was too small, it has no medicinal benefits for you. 2 problems with that. First of all, show me the evidence, the clinical research that chaga has medicinal benefits. Secondly, show me the research. If you can show me that chaga has any clinical benefits whatsoever, show me the research that the age of the chaga has a difference. And then thirdly, tell me how old that chaga is. I've seen chaga 200 kilometres into the Arctic Circle on Arctic birch the size of an egg. That tree, small birch trees, they don't grow big there. That chaga is certainly growing slowly there too. That chaga is small, it could be 50, 80, 60, 70 years old, really old. What's the cut-off? What's a young chaga and what's an old chaga? That chaga I cut off there was certainly at least 10 years old. That's pretty old in my book. That's enough time, if the fungus is absorbing some amazing magical goodness from the tree, for it to develop at least some magical marvellous goodness. So if you're going to claim that young chagas don't have an effect and you shouldn't harvest them, show me the clinical research. Otherwise it's just bullcrap. The second part of this third myth is that how you make the tea from the chaga. The only thing I say about chaga is it's good as a tinder and you can make tea from it which tastes fairly pleasant, and it's an interesting thing to do. Harvest some chaga and make a little bit of tea from it. I don't say it's going to make you healthy, I just say it's a tea you can drink. And in my video I boil the chaga because I like the taste of the chaga tea when it's boiled. There's people out there on the internet, and it's been repeated in my comment section, saying you shouldn't boil the chaga because it destroys all these amazing good medicinal properties. Okay, two things to that. Number one, if you're going to claim that, show me the clinical research that boiling chaga takes away the medicinal properties, because you won't find it. There is none. If you just want to simmer your chaga, you can simmer it. If I want to boil my chaga, I'll boil it. Two different tastes, two different strengths of tea. Don't say I'm making my tea wrong and I'm destroying the medicinal properties of it, because there's absolutely not a scrap of clinical evidence that that is true. It's a shame that these very persuasive snake oil salesmen have put these myths out there in a very persuasive, very believable way, and it's repeated by folks who probably haven't gone out and tested it for themselves. They're not the people I'm really upset with. It's these YouTubers that think they're God's gift to bushcraft. They get a following, they get arrogant, and they get followers. It's a little bit like a religion for them. Now, even though I've shown in numerous videos before that taking chaga off a tree doesn't kill the tree. If you take all of it off, really big chagas, one's the size of a dinner plate. Tree's not died after years. Even though I've shown multiple times that chaga grows back if you've removed all of it, there's still going to be people out there watching this video right now who are going to go down in the comment section and say you've killed that tree by removing that chaga, or that chaga won't grow back. There's still going to be people that go down into the comments of this video and say you shouldn't boil it because you're going to remove all of the medical properties of it, without a shred of clinical evidence that that's true. And that's the one that bugs me, because there's people out there that are looking for a cure, and they're the ones that are getting hurt by these non-factual statements about the medicinal properties of chaga. Boil it, simmer it, it's up to you. But don't claim one or the other is going to give you more medicinal properties, because there's not a shred of truth in that statement. It's just an opinion. Nature's an amazing thing, and you're part of nature. You're an amazing thing. Don't get sucked in to these guys wandering around the woods looking super cool, talking super confident, telling you this, telling you that, telling you how you should think, how you should behave. Use a bit of fact-based critical thinking. You can say I'm full of crap. I'm busting these beliefs that you've had, that you've been given to you by these people that you've somehow come to trust on the internet. I'm just showing you the facts. I've shown you a tree with chaga removed and the tree not dying. I've shown you a tree, chaga completely removed and the chaga growing back. I've challenged you to find any clinical research on how you should treat chaga to give you the medicinal best use from it. You want to prove me wrong? Make a video, make a comment, email me, put a link in the comments section. Over the last 3 years, I've seen it all. Use your own brain. Don't use somebody else's bullshit to give you an opinion. Till the next time, take it easy.